Today I will be discussing my Madeline Hunter style lesson plan for my mastery assignment part 2. The state standard I'll be using today is first grade 4A, which is identifying U.S. coins, including pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters by value and describing the relationship among them. Lesson objective: understand the value of U.S. coins and the relationship to each other. The materials are needed are anchor charts, plain money, pencils, and paper. The hook for it would be showing coins on a screen, and then checking for previous knowledge would be asking the students how much money is presented on the screen. And then we would say the objective of the lesson, which is today we'll be learning about coins and how they are in relation to each other and the coins' values. So for the input, I would use a anchor chart, which would be a money map, which would have a penny and the 1 cent, what the penny looks like, a nickel, what the nickel looks like 5 cents, a dime, what the dime looks like 10 cents, a quarter, what a quarter looks like 25 cents. Teaching the values of it. The model, how I would demonstrate it, would be using a fake scenario and getting fake money, and using a real life fake scenario, like a word problem would be, so you start out with, like, let's say $10, and the word problem is, okay, you go to the grocery store, and each candy costs $5, a soda costs $2, and you would use that money, and how much money you would get, and how much stuff you would buy, and how much money you'd be using. And then the students would go on and do that themselves, get their own money, and buy so-and-so things, and how much money they spent, how much they got back, and everything, and understanding that. During the guided practice, we would play called the Race to a Dollar game, which would be, you would get 20 to 30 pennies, 5 to 10 dimes, 5 to 10 nickels, 5 to 10 dimes, and then $1. If we can play it into groups of 2 or more, each group would get a die, a bag of money. Each student will get a turn to roll the die, and whatever die they get on the die, 6, they'd get 6 pennies, and then go in a circle, and then they roll die again and get 6 more pennies, up until they can trade into a nickel, and then trade that nickel into a dime, trade that dime into a quarter, trade that quarter into $2, so forth. You can only trade up if you have the die. The first one to get to $1 wins, of course. That would be the guided practice. The closure, the classroom would be set up into sections of this section would be pennies, this section would be nickels, this section would be dimes, this section would be quarters. And the students will then go be in their groups of how they are set into the classroom setting. They'd be set into their groups. They would get on the board, they'd be, okay, $2.50. One person from that group would go and collect $2.50 from using different areas. Each section has a limited amount, so they would, use different pennies, different quarters, like so on and so forth. Making sure we can evaluate these students, making sure students can understand the values of the quarters, values of the coins, and their relationships to each other, and how the system works.